Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Workers at Omni New Haven Hotel at Yale are on strike for a second day, and they've grown their demonstration to more than 100 union members and supporters.
And they sound like 500. The members were back on the picket line at 5 this morning with no signs of stopping. Fox 61's Julia LeBlanc has the latest.
More than 30 hours into the start of this strike now, and union members seem to have just as much energy as they did Friday morning. You can see they have their giant rat out now, and all day they've been non-stop on those drums, playing music, chanting out loud, and walking that picket line as they call for better working conditions here at Omni New Haven Hotel.
No contract!
More than 100 Omni New Haven hotel workers, part of Local 217, unite here.
If we don't get it.
Posting up on the picket lines for 2 days now, from 5 a.m. to midnight, fighting for better working conditions.
I want, and they want better wages, good pension, good health care, and we don't want to lose jobs.
Reina Ortiz and her peers have been in negotiations with management for nearly a year now. To no avail. And in that time, she and her co-workers have struggled to get by.
Right now, it's like, gotta stretch. It's a lot, penny pension. I'm a waitress, so a lot of people don't tip the 15% or 20%.
While they're out here, members say people hired through a temp agency are filling the gaps inside. But they don't have the same experience as people like Miguel Hernandez, with 20 years of service here at the hotel.
The main person affected right now is the guests. So we have seen from yesterday so many people walking since 5 in the morning all the way to midnight, people walking out looking for another place to sleep.
Something union leaders say they don't want to see, but they've reached a point where they feel they have no other choice.
We're just looking for a fair contract and the parties are far apart.
Chief negotiator Josh Stanley says the owner of the company is based out of Texas, and they've been at the table with his representatives since November. Since they've been on strike, he says they've heard nothing from them, but that won't stop them.
I think they're fighting for hotel workers all over our city and all over our state, and showing a path of you can say no, you can say I need a union, and you can organize that union, and you can walk out together when you don't get to a fair deal until you get to one.
Now, after reaching out basically for 2 days and even being escorted out of the hotel at one point, we finally got a response from Omni Hotel and Resort sending us a statement saying, quote, out of respect for all parties, Omni won't comment on the status of the negotiations except to say that we remain committed to bargaining in good faith to reach a contract agreeable to all parties. Now, we did ask union leaders how long do they plan to strike for. They tell us they don't plan on stopping until they feel their voices have been heard. We are in New Haven. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Julia, thank you. Meanwhile, Norwalk Hospital Food Services workers are also striking. Now, this includes hospital cafe workers and cooks. The workers are asking to negotiate a fair contract, calling for pay raises. Now, the strike comes as an unfair labor practice charge is being filed against their employer, Morrison Healthcare. The charges stem from an agreement by Morrison to resume annual employee evaluations and raises, something many workers say they haven't seen in years. Morrison has not commented on the matter.
Happening now in Waterbury, nursing home residents are being relocated, some having to scramble for a new place to call home. The feds had to pull funding over health and safety violations.
The company running the facility says it's done everything it can to make it safe, but others don't agree. Fox 61's Matt Caron investigated.
We have covered stories here at Abbott Terrace Health Center before. During COVID, one of their beloved CNAs died from the virus. But now they face accusations of serious health and safety violations and face an imminent closure that will impact the residents. In a nearly unprecedented move, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services has stripped the Abbott Terrace Nursing Home in Waterbury, an Athena-run healthcare facility, of its federal funding for its failure to meet basic health and safety requirements.
When you have ongoing safety issues, right, flooring, fire doors.
Those safety issues are chronicled in documents obtained by Fox 61, showing years of state health department inspection violations resulting in multiple citations, including unsafe flooring and fire doors not up to code. Athena Healthcare telling Fox 61 it spent $200,000 to fix the floors and that our team did everything possible.
In what time period? Because they had months to do this, and they waited until sort of the last hour.
The Connecticut Department of Health and Social Services said in a joint statement, every nursing home resident deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. That dignity called into question by this documented incident where a nurse allegedly told an incontinent patient, "I can smell you in the hallway," removing a soiled Johnny coat that landed on the resident's face. The facility now prepares to close. They have 30 days to relocate residents.
What are we going to do? Live on the street?
A traumatic experience for the 180 people who call Abbott Terrace home.
It's devastating to me.
And who call its staff family.
There's many people here that are going to suffer so much from this because we are their family.
Relatives of residents tell Fox 61 it's an uncertain future that could mean losing touch with nearby loved ones.
My husband is there, and I don't know how I'm going to get to where they're going to ship him to.
I've got family only 5-10 minutes away, and I don't want to lose that connection.
But other residents say facility management and corporate have no one to blame but themselves.
It's just one simple word: accountability.
Shaka Fagan describing an environment where problems are ignored.
If it's not resolved and it's dismissed, that's what's bringing this place down.
And a toxic culture has impacted quality of care.
Some employees use threats to get their way.
So you might be asking, what's next? The state is working with Athena to try and locate other nursing homes that have open beds. Meanwhile, Athena is engaging with lawmakers in a last-ditch effort to keep Abbott Terrace open. Athena being a company who recently sold 5 other nursing facilities. Reporting in Waterbury, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Matt. Well, a man's under arrest by Shelton police, accused of selling someone narcotics before that man died of an overdose. Police say Daniel Reed sold the drugs to someone in May. Narcotics and a semi-automatic firearm were reportedly found at Reed's home. He's being held on $300,000 bond.
A man faces charges tonight for allegedly assaulting a woman at the Meriden train station. Police say just after 8 p.m. on Tuesday, Curtis Hemingway allegedly grabbed a woman from behind and began choking her until she lost consciousness. According to police, the two did not know each other. The woman was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Hemingway is being held on $150,000 bond.
Certainly a warm start to the weekend. We've been building up to it all week. It's been so nice.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. We're living right, Rach, because this is great weather and a couple of really good weekends here in a row.
I'm surprised that it wasn't dry all week and just rainy on the weekend, because that's something I feel like we've seen a few times over the summer. But no, we stay dry. It is warm. We're looking at highs in the low to mid 80s tomorrow. It will be a few degrees cooler on Sunday. So if you're trying to figure out what to do, which day this weekend, warmer Saturday, a bit cooler on Sunday, but still both days above average. Right now, we're looking at upper 70s for the New Haven area and still near 80 in Hartford. Here's a look at other numbers across the state: 74 in Waterbury and 76 in both Putnam and also for Windham. If you're doing some outdoor dining tonight, whether that's grilling, going out to eat, if you're going for a walk, temperatures in the 60s at the shoreline, 70s for inland Connecticut, and no weather issues out there. It just looks absolutely beautiful. And we'll see overnight lows in the upper 50s to right around 60 as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. There could be some areas of patchy fog to start off the day tomorrow. I don't think it's a big deal. There might be thicker or more dense and widespread fog for Sunday morning, though, which we'll talk more about. Otherwise, here's your fair forecast. We know that the Big E started today. We're looking at low 70s at 10 a.m. High temperatures will be in the lower to middle 80s as we head through the afternoon, and then we'll be falling back into the 70s as we head towards and after sunset. We'll get a closer look at that weekend forecast and when rain eventually returns coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Senator Richard Blumenthal is calling on the Coast Guard to consider new safety measures after the deadly boat crash in Old Saybrook. Blumenthal was at the Coast Guard to add more, or wants the Coast Guard to add more safety measures like better lighting to protect boaters in the area. 3 people were killed and several others injured on September 2nd when a boat struck a jetty. There have been other crashes in the same area over the last decade.
An important update on mosquito-borne diseases in Connecticut. More and more mosquitoes are testing positive for Triple E. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane is in Farmington with what we know.
No one here in Connecticut has tested positive for Triple E. However, mosquitoes have tested positive for carrying Triple E in Farmington and in Manchester. Officials are urging people to stay vigilant as the risk is increasing across the state. The Department of Energy and Environmental Protection says Triple E and West Nile virus are both big concerns around Connecticut. Officials conduct tests on mosquitoes in lab settings, and mosquitoes did test positive for carrying Triple E in Farmington and in Manchester. People in the area say they're now taking extra precautions.
A little nervous, but I know that I have trust in the health officials and making sure that we're safe, and just keeping an eye on it, making sure that we apply our bug spray, and not going out late at night when it's dark out, and just keeping away from them as best as possible.
Making sure everything's cleaned out, and the bug spray is the big thing, really, to keep yourself safe.
There are 11 towns and cities in total that have had positive mosquito tests for Triple E. Besides Farmington and Manchester, Canterbury, Griswold, Ledyard, Lyme, North Stonington, Plainfield, Sterling, Stonington, and Voluntown all had positive results. This comes as West Nile virus has also been detected in 43 communities. Officials say a horse in Fairfield County did test positive for Triple E, but no other known infections have been documented in Connecticut. However, there have been cases in other New England states. That's why DEEP officials are warning people to stay cautious. So what can you do to protect yourself? You should avoid time outdoors between dusk and dawn. That's when mosquitoes are known to be most active. Wear clothing that covers your skin. That includes long pants, high socks, and long shirts. Make sure window screens in your home are tight, and you can also protect your property by making sure there's no standing water. The risk of mosquito-borne illnesses is expected to stay prevalent throughout the state until the first real frost, which normally happens sometime in October. Officials are reminding people wear that bug spray. Make sure you're wearing the proper clothing if you are heading outdoors. In Farmington, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Lindsay, thank you. We have an update now about a dog that was found abandoned in Edgewood Park in New Haven earlier this month. The New Haven Animal Shelter says they now know the dog's name is Kenobi and say he is improving after being found badly malnourished. Police have identified the person who abandoned Kenobi and are in the process, they say, of pressing charges.
Wonderful dog there.